I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
And we welcome you in. It's another edition of the Daily Puck Drop, your daily sports podcast. As we welcome you from the Limbach Lumber Studios. Contractors, they offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects, largest stock moldings in the Northwest, old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Give Limbach Lumber a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them at limbachlumber.com. Of course, you can follow the show on all the social media platforms on X, Instagram, and Blue Sky. It's Puck Sports. On TikTok, it's Puck_sports. And, of course, you can find us on Facebook as well. Also, go to pucksports.com. There, you can sign up to become a Puck's Posse member for as little as $5 a month. You support all the free content we do, plus bonus shows every single week. Also, if you're in Puck Survivor, our NFL Survivor pool, make sure you get your picks in for this week. If you're like me, you've still survived on to the third week, but it's dwindling right now. All right, coming up on the show today, we'll talk about the Mariners' gut punch last night. Mike Garafolo will join us in a couple of minutes from the NFL Network. Brad Adam from Root Sports, another edition of KJ-Arent with our good buddy Mitch Unfiltered, and of course, we wrap up with Hey, What the Puck. All right, we'll get into the Mariners. Now, the Mariners are supposed to play today. They will have a game. It sounds like. I caught up with Brad earlier today. It sounds like they'll give it a go. They're going to play despite the rain, and rain has fallen down right now there in Kansas City, but they're still trying to get it in because what other days do they have to make it up? They don't want to come back there on their off day on Monday and play, and certainly don't want to come back there to make up one game once the season is over. It's at a monumentous start this morning for Luis Castillo. He's not been good on the road. His last start was ERA of over 5. Opponents beating the crap out of him on the road. He needs to have a huge start today. They are all must-win games at this point. They just are. And so they kicked one last night. That was a gut punch. Thought they had the game won. Matt Brash comes in there in the 8th inning, and they just can't get it done. And he's been good this year. He's been really good, especially against lefties. And you can't expect Adam Frazier, who doesn't hit home runs at all, to go down and fish out and throw out a sinker that was low and away and hit it out to left field, for God's sakes. The exit velocity was 93 miles an hour. But they're going to need Castillo in a huge way. They're going to need vintage, like playoff Toronto Blue Jays Luis Castillo today. We'll talk more about the Mariners and where they're at right now. Brad Adams going to join us coming up a little bit later. And then, as I mentioned before, we'll talk to Mitch Unfiltered, of course, Mitch Levy from KJ-Arent. We'll get that in. We'll talk about the quarterback situation at Wazzu and the mess that is taking place over in Pullman as they get ready for the Apple Cup. But joining us, as he does every Thursday, to talk the big storylines in the National Football League, it is our good friend, Mike Garafolo from the world-renowned NFL Network. It's brought to you by Hartley & Hartley Insurance, your trusted family-owned insurance experts in the Puget Sound area since 1978. As Mike knows, for honesty, fairness, and integrity, there's only one person you call, and that is Jamie Hartley when he's not playing golf. 253-565-8700. Also, Zogs on Fox Island. Great spot to grab a cold beer, hang out with friends, and catch the game. Check out their hours on Facebook and Instagram. Mike Garafolo. How are you?
You missed all that. You were looking down.
I know.
I
saw you.
I was like the person that signs while they're giving the speech. I was giving you the
sign language person.
Yeah. I had good morning football today. Which I think has
got to be the most. I think about it a lot when I see press conferences, by the way. And the man or woman is sitting up there and they're doing it. So I'm like, how? How do you do it so fast? It's unbelievable.
No idea. Great talent. Doing a service for folks that need it. And even at the, I love when it's at the rap concert. There's a legendary one with Cardi B and yeah.
Is it kind of the?
No, don't.
No, hold on. It's kind of a bigger white gal. Is that the one we're thinking of? He has like red hair.
I feel like a coach. You got any football questions? Although I started.
I'm just one. I know because whatever. I'm.
What am I doing? Which way am I trying to go
She's
here?
really getting into it. I know the one.
Yeah, yes, really getting into it.
I
Yes,
know.
Really.
Yeah. I love it. All right, we'll
Oh,
go. We'll go football. We'll go football. All right, Seahawks. They come out of that good game against the Steelers. That was a very good win. I want to get your thoughts on how they looked against Pittsburgh, but they're dealing with a lot of injuries. Witherspoon and Eamon Warrior we already knew about. Was hoping they were going to get back maybe this week. Julian Love's he's dinged up. He's got something else going on. And so they're a little wounded as they take on the Saints. Before we get to that game, though, they went in there and they pushed the Steelers around. I know the Steelers aren't the greatest team in the world, but that's a tough place to play for anyone. And they went in there and they handled business. Great win for Mike McDaniel and the Seahawks.
Right, and the Steelers had scored a ton of points in week 1. Now, that Jets team also gave up a ton to Buffalo, so that doesn't look necessarily as well as it did, or as good as it did after week 1. But it's the kind of game they're going to win, right? I mean, they're a 20-17 team if ever there was one. They were playing a 20-17 team as well. So that's the kind of game they're going to win, and they played physical football, which is what they need to do as well, which is what they want to do. I mean, they set their goal to do that this offseason. So I think you got to be happy that it was within your style of play. You traveled east, you got it done after a disappointing week 1 loss. Yeah, I mean, I still think nationally they're a team that people are not paying attention to, and they may be that way for the bulk of the season if they're trading wins and losses and they're sort of there and they're a wild card team. Like they feel like the kind of team that would be under the radar the entire season and maybe could pop up in the playoffs and win a playoff game, make a little run, something like that. Maybe even the contention for the division at the end of the season. Although I probably would still go elsewhere in the division. But you play that kind of football and you kind of stay alive the whole year. Who knows what happens come January?
Expectations are very low, I think, outside
nationally?
Expectations. Yes, outside expectations.
What about
not
locally?
Internally, they.
No, not. I don't mean like not even internally there. Internally in Seattle, like what's the vibe there after that win?
Great. I mean, that was the type of football that they want to play. I think the fact is they looked so. I think the difference was they looked so bad offensively in week 1 against the Niners. They didn't look like everything that they had preached and practiced and talked about all offseason, they didn't do. And then they did it in week 2 there against the Seahawks. Play action. Darnold looked more comfortable. They got Cooper Kupp involved. They actually threw it to Horton, the rookie wide receiver who caught a touchdown. Robbie Oots, the fullback. God, I love him. He's my spirit animal. He just beat the shit out of 2 guys on one play. They were physical. Ken Walker looked great. This is what they wanted to be, and So I think everyone was excited and how they looked against the Steelers.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you hear the word identity. Like, what kind of a football team are you, and can you play to your identity? I mean, that's the real. In this league, there are talented players everywhere. I get. Here, this GM doesn't know how to draft. It's not even like know how to draft, as in you go to a game and go, oh, that guy's really talented. It's what fits your scheme, and is there communication between what you want to be from a coaching standpoint and what you're providing from a front office standpoint. And Seahawks have always been strong in that regard, going back to the Pete Carroll days. I've mentioned this to you before. I think it took a year of feeling out for Mike McDaniel and John Schneider and the front office and the coaching staff. And I know they feel like they're in a good spot with that. So you get the results in a tough spot, like you said, to play off a team that was coming off feeling pretty good about itself, particularly offensively in week 1. You get the win. That's what's called identity, doing it the way that you imagined it.
Hey, I know they're not going to reverse course on this one. I think they probably made their bed with these new kickoff rules. I don't like it. I'm not sure where you personally stand with it. It just doesn't look normal to me. It doesn't feel like football. We saw a crazy play in that Steelers game where Caleb Johnson lets the ball bounce. And, everything comes out and the new rules they've come up with. And I know they should be prepared as players. I get that. But it is so bloody confusing knowing what the hell is going on with this thing. Yeah. I mean, is there any ever thought of ever going back to the normal kickoff, or is that gone forever?
No. The high-speed collisions, the health aspect of it. Look, they changed rules. I mean, Teddy Roosevelt talked about the dangers of football, and they changed rules back then, and they've changed rules up until now, and they've, they evolved to include the forward pass, right? Like, I don't mean to be overly simplistic about it, but when I always hear that's why the discussion about the tush push. Oh, it doesn't look like football. The hell it doesn't. It looks more like football than what you're watching now. If you want to go traditional, right? It's rugby scrummish. It's the game's going to evolve. The game's going to change. It has to survive, to be safe and entertaining at the same time. I don't see what else you could possibly do. I mean, little tweaks, but I don't see what else you could possibly do to keep the play in the game and make it safe and make it entertaining. I think that this is not company line stuff.
Yeah,
Do you want to spot the ball at the 25 or do you want to have an actual return? This is about as good as you're going to be able to do.
I don't know. There's just something what I miss about watching the NFL, which you get in college, you get in high school. I mean, I coach youth football. I get it in youth football. Is the ritualistic start of the game of everyone lining up, the anticipation of the kick, and then the sprinting, this ungodly as fast as you can down the field.
Yeah.
And then when an NFL game kicks off, it kicks off, and then everyone's staying put. It's very odd to watch. I don't like it. Can I not like something? I don't like it.
Would you rather them stay put that way or stay put in a fencing posture after suffering a catastrophic brain injury?
Well, but there's just like, I mean, I don't know how much evidence there is for it or against it with the kickoffs. I don't know. It's a violent sport.
No, there is.
I mean, and they have reckless collisions.
This is what sounds almost heartless, right? When they go, oh, the injury data now for the kickoff is the same as every other play in football. Like the same amount of guys are getting it. Hey, that's a good thing. Same amount. The point being, it used to be a lot more head injuries and more significant neck injuries. I mean, I was writing about this thing back in 2006. There was a Giants player. His name's Adrian Wazzu. And he suffered a severe neck injury. He was either part of the wedge or a wedge buster. I think he was part of the wedge because he was a defensive lineman, so he wouldn't have been running down that fast. And I mean, think about that. The guys that were the wedge were linebackers, linemen, defensive ends. The guys that were the wedge busters were the smaller, faster guys. I mean, you're just asking for trouble with that math right there.
But I enjoyed that. I liked watching that.
Well, you know what? Hopefully you were alive in ancient Rome in a previous life and you got to see some real carnage.
But you brought it up, right? Well, I think we're getting closer to going back to those times. I'll be honest with you. But if we're going to talk about player safety, like I like the tush push. Well, let me retract that. It's not a thing I like or dislike it. I don't agree with people who say it's not a football play. I mean, there's plenty of things I can point out in plays that don't look football playish. That whatever, that people are upset because they can't stop a particular play. All right, that's what the main argument to it is. But that doesn't look safe to me. That looks like guys can get hurt all over the place.
Where's the injury data?
Well,
just say it. Just
probably. I don't know what, but it doesn't. Yeah. But it doesn't look safe when guys are like slamming their heads at the bottom at the end of the pile. That doesn't.
But they're not getting hurt. They're not getting hurt more on that play than any other play. Jason Kelsey said it himself at the league meeting. I would come back if I only had to run the tush push every single play. I'd come back and play another year.
Okay, here's where
it's easier on him.
And I know people are upset with the tush push. Here's what they need to do, though.
Okay.
They can't allow the player behind them to push him. They
was
can't
part of the conversation, yeah.
They can't do that. That has to be eliminated. It used to be, right?
That was part of the conversation, was the pushing and pulling. That was how they were going to stop it there and stop it everywhere else in the field. Because I remember covering a game. I was probably on the Giants beat at the time, which was between the years 2004 and 2012. And somebody pushed a guy into the end zone. And I go, you can't do that. That's illegal. And somebody said, no, they changed that a couple of years ago. And I didn't even, back then, I don't think we consumed the offseason stuff the way that we do now. And so it kind of sort of slipped in. It was a rule change. Back then it was kids back then, when we had our newspapers, you had a finite space of stuff. Yeah. And they changed the rule to pushing. That's not going to make the paper. But now there's just, it'd get tweeted out and all this stuff, which is actually a good thing, by the way. I've said this. The offseason NFL coverage used to be next to nothing. And now you're getting full-blown stories about the 53rd guy on the roster all the way through the free agents and all that.
You think the beat reporters like that?
So here, looking back, I used to have to write an 18-inch main, which was 600-ish words, and a 12-inch notebook, which was 450 or whatever it was. 1,000 words a day ish, a little bit more than that. And I'd still take right up till hey, get it in by 7, and I'd file it at 6:59. It's like, the hell were you doing all day?
You're
You'd have
just
written
goofing off.
today. You'd have written 10 stories by the time you even started back then. So I think you just you live with it. I always enjoyed. I told my wife, I said, down the line, if the national stuff and I get even balder to the point where they're like, we can't put you on TV. Look at yourself. If I get to that point, I'll go back to covering, just go back on a beat and do it from the more of a modern perspective. But also, I enjoy it. I enjoyed writing I wrote one of my favorite stories I ever wrote. Madison Hedgecock was a fullback on the Giants Super Bowl team, and I remember talking to him one day, and he's like, I'm like, what are you doing your off day? And he's like, I go farming. So what do you mean? He says, I'm a farmer. They sent me to New York. I'm like, how am I going to survive? He just started driving west one day. He said, I'm going to go to Pennsylvania because I know there's farms there. And right before he got the PA, he gets to this farm in Jersey. He walks up and says, hey, how you doing? I'm Madison. And just started working for free. Wound up like the entire community adopted him. He's sleeping on people's couches and all this stuff. Again, the fullback, the last guy in the roster ever. And I wrote a full-blown story about how this kid went out, found this community, and became part of this community. It's like this Giants player. I love that stuff. I geek out on that stuff. So we're off on a tangent now.
I can see it now. Mike Garafolo .substack.com.
I won an award. I won an APSC award for that.
I'm telling you, this is the wave of the future. There you go, right there. You can do everything. You be your own guy. Well, yeah. Well, the Tush Push. I mean, I know it's in the news a lot this week. One, because they looked like they were jumping off sides like every single time they snapped it.
Well, that's moving. I mean, but
that has nothing to do with the actual thing.
The excuses have been health. Doesn't look like a football play. Neither did the Wildcat. Nobody out. Right. Outruled that. And now it's too hard to officiate. Like, you just say what it is. This team's really good at it. It's an automatic play. It's taken away the drama. They love the 4th and 1 stop. That it's a possibility. If it's not a possibility, that's what it's about.
Yeah. Hey, what's the stat? A lot of quarterbacks out this week. I mean, my God, you got Burrows out for a few weeks.
Yeah, you got Tyrod Taylor, Carson Wentz, and Marcus Mariota starting games this week. What year is it?
Oh God, who is Mariota starting for?
Washington.
Oh, so Daniels is out.
Yeah, and I've all week been leaning that way. They have not ruled him out, but my understanding and expectation is that I would expect Marcus Mariota to play in that game.
What's the status of Purdy?
They needed to see how he responded today. What time is it? So it's still early there. Yeah, Jaden's not practicing today, so that's official. Not official, but officially not practicing. Yeah. Purdy looked good and felt good yesterday, apparently, and they wanted to see how he responded today. So I wouldn't be shocked. I think at the very least, I'm going to say at the very least, he's active in the number 2, and it's like, well, if we have to play him, we'll play him. He's that good, but he's not all the way there. And plus, Mac Jones looked really. I mean, Mac Jones is a former top pick and a guy who did pretty well. Not terribly. It's not like he flamed out completely. Just it was a tough spot in New England.
See, that's what I want. I want him to be active, but be the number 2, because then we can get the old quarterback controversy. Mac Jones looked good.
Yeah,
he looked good against New Orleans.
I mean, it'll only be a controversy from the outside, right? I mean, although it may be something over Purdy's shoulder that causes him to struggle a little bit. I mean, that'd be the only way. They're not. What I'm saying is, they paid him that money. They're not going to suddenly say, "Yep, this is our guy." It's not going to be a Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady type thing, which is not really apples to apples.
But in the back, hold on. But in the back of like Shanahan's mind, though, and we talked about it last week, that he wanted him so much during the draft, but was then overruled to take Trey Lance in the draft.
Yeah,
there's gotta be this just thinking like, oh, me, I like Purdy, but maybe Mac Jones can do it even better.
Yeah, but he's not. See, that was the problem. That's what led to them having these internal discussions. Is Mac Jones is not exceptional. Mac Jones does not have unbelievable athletic ability. It's not like
Purdy. Would you say that about Purdy?
No, but the point is, it's like if you had, when Michael Vick came back and was available, right, and the Eagles, it's like, oh, you have this untapped potential. You sort of already have that guy. It's not like Mac Jones is providing something that your starter doesn't have. Is the point that I'm trying to make. It would just have to be, when Purdy comes back, he struggles because he feels the pressure behind him. He's never shown to be that guy before, and he's been running the offense well. It's not like he's been struggling out there. They like what he does, to the point of what they paid him this offseason.
Well, I want a QB controversy so they get rounded.
I mean, I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can.
Talk to them. Hey, Bills are heavy favorites tonight. I know that I can't get your thoughts on the spread, but heavy favorites out there. And if you're in Puck Survivor, anyone, you want to take the Bills, take the Bills. But it's 11.5 against the Dolphins. My point being not about the point spread, is it does feel like Mike McDaniel right now, the coach of Miami, is on borrowed time.
And this is going to be a real litmus test because on paper and via the point spread, which I can talk about because we show it on the air, there's an expectation, right? Oh. And they have played well there. If you go back to Mike McDaniel's 4 games, because they played in the playoffs one year, 3 of the 4 games were tight. They were all high scoring games, high 50s into the 60s. Which take that information and do whatever you want to do with it. But they have played. It's not like they're going to a place where they've struggled before. So if they don't, and if they get their doors blown off, it's probably an indication that he's lost his grip on the team. And I found they were the most fascinating team in the NFL to me coming into the season because we would have discussions on the air about the Dolphins in training camp, even in the offseason. Mm-hmm. And they would pop up the win total, the expected win total. And it was 8.5. And I think I even mentioned this to you. I said, we're talking about like a potential coaching change early in the season. And we're talking about all the potential issues in the locker room and Tyreek Hill and yet they're projected to be a middle of the road team. Like what? This is the biggest range of expectations I think I've ever seen for a team. It's like usually the Saints coming in, we knew the Saints were going to be bad, right?
Right.
We knew the Bills were going to be good. Like you can slide that window of expected wins. Quarterback, like Josh Allen went down, obviously that would change things. But point being, with no injury expectations, the window of like what we're expecting from and now we're on the bottom end of it. And after the Thursday games, there's a lot of times where they'll make these moves to give you the extra couple of days. I don't even know who. Like I looked at their staff. I don't even know who they would slide in as their interim coach if they had to do that right now. I mean, maybe Joe Barry is one of the more experienced guys there. I don't know what they would do. So I want it to be a tight game. I want it to be an entertaining game. I want points. I think we'll see points. We'll see.
When you're looking across the league and there's a number of Mike 2-0 football teams, I think for most people what stands out are 2 teams that have kind of looked the best so far in the first 2 weeks of the season. That would be the Packers and the Chargers. Would you agree with that?
Bills look pretty good. Bills look pretty good to me. But yeah, I like what the Chargers are doing. Now they're starting to get banged up. I mean, the other thing is they lost Rashawn. How good would they be if they didn't lose Rashawn Slater? That's kind of the crazy part.
God, that was in camp, right? Training camp.
Yeah. That was right after he got paid, and so most teams don't have Joe Alt as your right tackle to be able to slide over to the right side. But I like their style of play and all the things that you were hearing about Herbert in his second year with Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, that the expectation was that the level of play was going to be a lot higher. You're seeing that already. I think Jesse Minter is a future head coach. I think he's got the defensive coordinator. I think he's got things under control there and playing the way that they want to play. They've got a lot of talent in a lot of places. I'm not surprised that and they did a great job of year 1 to year 2. Where are our holes? Wide receiver, bring Keenan Allen back, draft a couple of guys. They've done a great job there.
He is a phenomenal football coach.
He's awesome.
He's phenomenal. That's why I wanted him here.
Bird.
I wanted him here so bad. I'm not saying that I don't like McDonald. I just wanted Harbaugh so bad. He wins everywhere.
Yeah.
He just wins.
But it's got to be like it's an organization where the ownership's going to say, we want to win. Go do your thing. And
it wouldn't have worked here with Schneider.
What's that?
You don't think it would have worked here with John?
I don't. I think because John is a general, like you paired the general manager with Harbaugh and a guy who was used to working with another Harbaugh, which I know people say like, oh, John's the same one. They're both, in their own ways. So working with one Harbaugh gives you the experience to work with another one. And they're both terrific football coaches. And Joe Ortiz knows what those kinds of coaches need and want and all that stuff. And it gives him the ability to draw up his staff the way that he wants to and bring in Jesse Minter, who was with him, and bring back Greg Roman. I feel like everything, it was the right place at the right time for Jim Harbaugh. especially after winning the national championship. And he does it, and that's why my expectations were high, because he turns things around everywhere he's been really quickly. And so no doubt they were going to be good this year.
All right, what's the league stance? And I don't know how big of a story this is. I don't think fans care. It's more of a story for the media. But what's the league stance on Tom Brady in the coach's box?
Here's the league stance on
Put the headsets on.
Yeah. Here's the league stance on Tom Brady. Do as much as you want to do, because having you around is good for us. Okay.
But we can acknowledge the conflict of interest, no?
Yeah, but I'm talking to you right now. I don't know what the heck's going on there. Like, we're just having a conversation. You have full control over what we're talking about right now. I'm not in your building. I'm not raiding your fridge. I'm not, seeing if there's any dirty clothes on the floor. I mean, this is a different communication versus being inside the building, in a way that other owners are not inside the building. So that's what they're doing. Everything is virtual. He's not allowed to be in the building. And I don't know that. I do think that the visual the other night opened a lot of eyes around the league to how involved he is.
Right.
Like owners, right? Maybe owners are watching the game, go, "Whoa, no!" And I didn't think it was like that.
No one was better than the Colts owner. She's awesome. On the sideline with the earbud in, she's taking notes.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. Now, don't go drafting players.
Right.
Don't go overstepping.
Yeah.
Hey, walk over to the coach in the fourth quarter. How can we haven't run this? I know we talked.
That's
about
what I want. I wanted to see her go. Yeah, I'm a 3rd and 4. I think we should run the belly play. What do you think?
I think now. I don't think it is. Yeah, I was gonna say, how much is it for show? I don't think it's for show at all.
She looked like she was just interested in the game. Like, she's like, I'm it.
Yeah, no. I know, but it's a very visual thing, and things are going well there, which is great. When they don't go well, it'll be, we're a coach right here, and he just pan left, and there she is, just scribbling. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I've never been in it. Obviously, I don't know if you have. Have you ever been in one of those production meetings with coaches before a game?
No, I've never done sideline for a game or anything like that. No.
Because I'm curious. My hunch and gut would tell me that these coaches in those production meetings don't really give them anything. I mean, a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, it depends on the relationship. Yeah. I mean, I don't. One GM will talk to another GM all the time, right? Joe Shane with the Giants and Brandon Beane, who are working, they play golf all the time, right? Tom Brady is on the field pregame. He's talking to everybody, and everybody's talking to him. They want to take as much from him as he wants to get from them. And I just go back to, he comes in as a minority owner. It's not some guy that made his bones with a bunch of travel marts or whatever Pilot Flying J is with Jimmy Haslam. It's not, the .com world. It's not auto parts. It's not what these guys have. He was a 7-time Super Bowl champion.
Sure.
Why wouldn't you get his input into it?
I
why
think
wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is an interesting dynamic because, I think Carroll was either after the game bristled at the suggestion that he doesn't talk to Chip Kelly, even though, like, Peter Schrager, your former colleague, made it clear that it was Chip Kelly who told him that Tom Brady, he and Brady talk a bunch. And I wonder, Pete Carroll came from an organization which he had all of the say. He ran everything. Now, he doesn't necessarily do it there. He's not the GM there, but he's got, and I don't mean this in a negative way, he's got a massive ego about him. I wonder how he deals with having someone like Brady around, because Pete Carroll's used to having the final say and getting his word in. And now he's got a guy in Brady who's who's now kind of oversees him.
But I think Pete was sort of telling the truth in his own way. And Chip was telling the truth in a real way, which is that, I talk to this guy all the time. And, he may be having those conversations, and Pete's overseeing the whole operation, and he doesn't know how often they're talking. What Pete said was he's not in our meetings, basically. Like, he was asked that. Like, he's not meeting with us about football. It's not like, hey, I got my regular 3:00 with Tom Brady.
Right.
But Tom's having conversations with Chip Kelly via phone or whatever constantly. And Chip was wise to do that. Why wouldn't you do that? It's a tool at your disposal.
Agreed.
Joe, yeah, I don't want him on that headset in the middle of the game calling me a freaking idiot and trying to call plays. But during the week, hell yes.
Hey, is there a last thing for you before I get your where you're going to be this weekend? Is there anything drama between Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell at all? The fact is that he went for it on fourth down. They're up 24, I believe, and he goes for it 4th and 3 rather than kick the field goal with 7 minutes to go. And I know Ben Johnson said afterwards, "Hey, this is what they do. They don't ever kick field goals." That seemed personal.
I don't think so. I mean, if there's any, I don't sense that at all. Like, and when I was up there, they were talking great about Ben and fired up for the rivalry, and there may be a little nuggy, right, sent there to little brother, saying you're still under me. I'm sure there's a little bit of that, but I don't think it's a nasty thing at all. I mean, if anything, I remember Mangini leaving the Patriots, and Belichick thought it was too early, and he really wanted to rub his nose in it. This is the opposite of that. Ben Johnson hung around for a couple extra years, so it's not a real thing. It's probably just a stoke the friendly rival. It's like brothers fight sometimes,
I would assume you're in Philly, Eagles Rams.
So I'm in Philly for Eagles Rams, yes, for game day morning, which starts 6 a.m. your time on Sunday, and then I'm gonna try to get to Giants Chiefs. I don't, but the problem is leaving that parking lot is a train wreck. Now, when we come out of the parking lot, the players' lot is to the left, and the players go that way, and they're right out of there. The media and the fans in that lot can't go left. They got to go this way. So everybody else goes this way. So it takes like an hour just to get onto the bridge and get going. And I'm doing the math in my head. I'm saying that's not going to work. So I'm going to try my best to be like, hey, look, this one time, and not because I want to just get home or pop a couple of beers somewhere. I got to get to can I sneak this and try to talk to the cops ahead of time so I can get myself through there and under the bridge? Because then I got to fight. Then I got to fight MetLife traffic once I get up here. Because the big key is I want to get up there pregame. I haven't seen the Chiefs at all. So that's a good time to talk to their guys because who knows what it's going to be like postgame.
Sure.
So that's my plan, to do a little bit of double duty on Sunday.
All right. Working hard. NFL Network's Mike Garafolo with us again every Thursday. Brought to you by Hartley and Hartley Insurance and Zogs on Fox Island. Thanks, Mike. We'll see you next Thursday, bud.
You got it, Puck.
There he is, Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network. And again, if you miss any of Mike's appearance, it'll be podcast later up on YouTube and all podcast platforms. We talk NFL every single week there with Mike Garafolo. Let's go over to baseball. He joins us every Thursday here on the Daily Puck Drop and Puck Sports. Our good friend, Brad Adam of Root Sports. M's and Royals about to conclude their 3-game series coming up a little bit later. Rain was in the forecast earlier today. As we always do, we catch up with Brad earlier in the day, especially this time because it was a day game. At that point, the rain was still coming down in Kansas City, but they're going to try and get it in. We talk about them concluding their series with the Royals, the gut punch last night, and looking ahead to the final few games of the season. My weekly conversation with Brad Adam, Root Sports, brought to you by John Howie Steak. Excellence in dining? Visit John Howie Steak and experience premier Northwest dining. Prime custom aged steaks, award-winning wine, unmatched level of service. You won't be disappointed. Make your next reservation today at johnhowiesteak.com. The Brad Adams Show, all brought to you by John Howie Steak. It is here in Kansas City. John Howie Steak voted #1 restaurant in Seattle by Readers of Seattle magazine. The classic steakhouse, the best selection of hand-cut steaks from USDA Prime to Japanese A5 Wagyu. When you cut Brad Adam open, you know what pours out? A5 Wagyu. Also, what pours out is whiskey. Whiskey by John Howie features global selections of rare and well-done whiskeys with something for everyone, from the curious to the connoisseur. Brad Adam, Root Sports. You can follow him on social media at Real Brad Adam, not fake Brad Adam, the real Brad Adam in Kansas City. Mariners, Royals coming up, we think, at some point on Thursday to conclude their series. Brad is in the Royals press box right now.
Actually, this is a Royals suite that I'm kind of crashing. So hopefully nobody comes during the show.
Well, I'm telling you, if George Brett walks in there, put him on.
Oh, for sure. So this is what we're looking at here. Tarp on the field. Been raining all morning. They do say by noon our time, so 10 o'clock Seattle time, that the rain will stop.
Okay.
I'll try to start on time and get this one in. I hope so, Puck. I got a 6:30 flight to Houston. So if I got to leave during a delay, if it's 7th inning and you just see me kind of leaving.
Wait a minute. Don't you travel with the team?
I do, but this time of year, a lot of people join up on the team. There's a lot of front office people. There's a lot of people.
So you were
coming.
booted.
So I was basically booted.
You were booted. They booted you.
Who can we spare? That guy.
They
media,
booted
that
you
guy.
from. Who else got kicked out?
My cameraman DJ. So he and I are flying commercial to Houston. It's okay.
It's not okay.
It keeps you humble. I like
Free
that.
Brad. Could they not at least put you and DJ in first class?
Oh, don't worry. I booked my ticket, so I got the upgrade, my friend.
But what about poor DJ? Did you make DJ stay in the back?
There's a nice middle seat for him somewhere.
DJ,
Puck.
You're gonna love the middle seat between two
you get to meet
Midwestern people.
Yep, get to talk to them, meet them up a little bit. Yeah, it'll be good.
Favorite part of first class is it? And this is maybe a hot topic here. Free drinks or the hot towel?
I love the hot towel.
Who doesn't?
Probably boarding first and getting the drinks. Probably.
Yeah,
I like to have a drink when
everyone else is
boarding,
walking
and you just kind of like
Yeah. How's your life?
Yeah.
Good luck back there with the screaming kid and the fat person next to you. I'm up here in first class with the hot stewardess Pam. Yeah, and I still call him a stewardess.
We're old school.
Yeah, old school. I remember we could smoke on the plane. They're hopeful they get this game in today, in a game that they need. I mean, this is a must win.
You don't want to come back Monday, the off day, or God forbid, the Monday after the season ends. But it'll say it's going to stop raining. It will pick up again, they think, in the afternoon. But yeah, just get it in at all costs, because it's only a 2-hour flight to Houston. So if they have to play tonight, even it's not that big of a deal. They have to get this win in. Houston off today, so a chance to move into a tie, which I think would just be perfect, right? A tie with Houston when you got a 3-game set there, and no Alvarez, which helps the Mariners. But they're playing better in their Houston. We've talked about it for years, Puck. They're just Houston. So it'll be. But before we get to that, though, we got to take care of business here. And I really thought they were going to do it in the 9th inning last night.
Sure.
After JP's homer and then they come back, I get that. But a couple on, no outs, you're thinking, man, they're going to do it again. But, it wasn't to be. But they were due to lose at some point. At some point. Oh, you got people in our suite here.
Yeah, it's someone's suite. I can't. I want someone to. Excuse me, sir. What are you doing here? This is the Royal Suite. George Brett's going to be coming in here. You need to leave ASAP. Well, yeah, the game on Wednesday, Brad, was an absolute gut punch. A gut punch because of everything. They're down early 3-0. They end up coming back. You mentioned it. JP hits just a rocket shot to right field. You go into the 8th inning. You feel confident in Matt Brash, where he's been, and then he just, he walks Perez, and then
that's where it started. Yeah,
and then serves up a home run to Adam bleeping Frazier, who, by the way, it's either is he a cop in the offseason, or now is he the new? Is he starring in Pornhub films? Like, what is it with him? Because he's got the mustache and now the long
and
hair.
The flow. Yeah, he's still kind of a Mariner, with the mustache. But I think he could easily go into the second career there after he finishes playing.
Both? 93
Both
miles an hour. I mean,
it was
on.
I know. It's like we're mad at him, but we do remember the double he hit in Toronto, win the playoff series against the Blue Jays. So we still kind of have a soft spot for him. But that was
he could have struck out. That would have been better for us last night.
Yeah, that would have. Yes. But then, double, single, double, and that was 4 runs later. So that was something that you did not expect, because it set up perfectly after the home run. The end, Brash and Munoz, both well rested and ready to roll. But again, they weren't going to win every game, I guess, even though it felt like it, right? 10 in a row. So just get back at it today.
But
and
they
the
had
Royals,
it. They had it. They had it to maintain their lead in the West, and then Detroit just got swept by the Guardians. So you're all of a sudden you're a game back. You're one game back of Detroit, which we've been talking about here for a bit. Is that that was in sight for them? So,
but do we want the bye? That's the thing. It's like, do you want to keep rolling as well as they're playing now, as hot as they are? I don't want them to take 5 days off.
I understand that. Divish brought that up on Wednesday. The same thing. Would they want a bye? And maybe they would. I don't know. Have you talked to the players about it? What do they say? Like, for me, maybe it's different for every player. I would think if I'm Cal Raleigh,
oh sure,
I'd like to sit down for a bit.
Right. But the way the pitchers have been going, and you can, hopefully slot the rotation in that Dodgers series. To their credit, I talked to a couple of players about that subject, and they just said, "Hey, we're just trying to get in. We're not worried about anything else."
Yeah,
and that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. They don't care. They're in, if they're home, if they're away. Obviously, they'd rather be at home, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Once you get in, anything can happen.
Well, and then they got Castillo going this afternoon for us, or I guess this morning, and he has not been good on the road, Brad. This is going to be a huge start for him. Yeah, huge. Last start on the road, he was good, but an ERA of over 5, and his slash line is not good. Most of these pitchers haven't been good on the road.
Yeah, and they're trying to obviously change that and have success on the road. And, winning today, winning this series, I think we go a big way towards, getting some confidence that they can win on the road, because they haven't done it the last couple of trips. Really, the season hasn't been good. You want that momentum going into Houston. And then plus, too, I mean, you're going to play some postseason games, hopefully, on the road as well. You want to be able to know that, you can pitch, you can score, you can win on the road. It just hasn't happened lately. But so, yeah, a big one for Castillo and a big one for the Mariners. And, the Royals are still mathematically alive, so there's still something to play for them as well. So, yeah, it should be a game that the Mariners hopefully can take and get going into Houston.
Hey, did you guys I missed it. If you did it, I missed it. I apologize. Did you guys catch up with the kid?
Oh, come on, man! I did a whole hit on
I missed
that.
it.
Yeah,
I missed it. Yeah,
Eli,
our
buddy Eli from St. Louis.
Some people over, and then I missed it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
How was Eli? God, that was a great moment.
Great moment. A great story. The kid, his family, they're from St. Louis. So they took him out of school to drive 4 hours to the game last night. He's missing school today. They're at the game again today. He became a Cal Raleigh Mariners fan. They've got these figurine packs. I guess there's baseball cards it comes with a figurine. And he got it for Easter. His dad gave it to him for Easter. Big baseball fan. And Cal Raleigh was the figurine. So that was it for him. They started buying the big dumper jerseys. He plays T-ball. They call him Little Dumper. I mean, he's all about Cal and the Mariners. He gets up at 5 a.m. to watch the condensed highlights on MLB TV for the Mariners. So he is just all in. And it's a fun story. And it also is great. They're very smart selecting their seats. They knew that there was a lefty on the mound, so Cal would be hitting right-handed, so they were out in left field, whole side. Today, they're going to be out in right field because Cal's going to be hitting left-handed. Right. So,
no connections to Seattle.
Nothing. Never been. No, they're Cardinals. In St. Louis, the kid got a figurine of the big dumper, and that's all she wrote.
I don't really like the stories. I don't really like the stories much anymore. Never mind. I thought he was from Seattle. I'm out. No. I'm just kidding. It was very cool. His excitement of getting the ball catch. That was great.
Yeah, Gino's home run. Yeah. Really cool. First thing he said, he got the ball from his dad, and he said, "Hey, you got to smell this, Dad." So he smelled it, and I went out there and talked to him. And he's like, "Hey, you got to smell the ball." I'm like, "You bet, Eli." Smells like smells like a home run.
Baseball. Okay.
A little mud, a little rosin. Yeah.
Well, I guess the positive from yesterday was at least Suarez got it. Maybe he's out of it. Snapped that 0 for 32 streak, 4 hits, 2-run home run. So that certainly was a positive from the game on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're talking about like, man, Gino probably needs a day. 0 for 32. Let have Rivas play third. Let's do something. And then he busts out with 4 hits in the home run. So, yeah, it shows you how much that we know. But Gino's a guy that they not worried about. Streaky, a veteran guy, knows what's up. With 10 to go, wouldn't be surprised if he just goes on a tear, which is what they hope. He's down, up, hopefully finishes up.
How confident are they right now? I mean, they're a half game back. They got one more today, which is, again, they're all must wins, it feels like. And then they'll start this series with Houston in a great matchup on Friday with Wu and Hunter Brown. But their confidence level, you're around these guys all the time. You talk to them every single day. Where is it at right now with these guys?
It's still really high. They were I don't want to say surprised that they lost, but the way they've been playing, the way they've been winning games and everybody contributing and comebacks. And we almost saw it again last night in the 9th inning. I mean, these guys are in a really good spot. They feel really good. And it's been a different guy kind of every night, the whole lineup. Now with Gino hitting, it's like, yeah, the pitching, it's the confidence level is back. They're taking it from the homestand, that perfect homestand onto the road here. And yeah, I think, win or lose, I think they're still in a really good spot going into Houston. The mind frame is really good and they're excited to finish this up and they know what's ahead of them. And they all point out too, that they don't need any help. They control their own destiny, right? They don't have to worry about other teams losing. It's just all in front of them. So they like that. They like the opportunity and, yeah, they're peaking at the right time.
Can we do something with Julio so he doesn't get picked off so much?
Yeah, it's happened a few times.
Why does that happen so much to him?
I don't know if I don't know. I can certainly ask him that.
Yes, I put a camera in his face. Why do you get picked off so much? It is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah,
he has these. I don't know what you call it, like just brain farts.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not going, how do you get picked off, right? I don't think he was going, but yeah, I don't.
And looking down at his shoes, probably.
Yeah, they are nice shoes, colorful. I tell you, everybody's kind of stepped up their game with Josh Naylor coming over.
It's a great transition, sir.
Oh, right.
That's what makes you the pro. Have you? Last thing, have you been able to digest as much barbecue as possible?
Yeah, not as much as before. Okay. But I was able to go to Ichiro's hamburger joint that he likes here in Kansas City. Oh, and that's the first time I've been there, and it was good. Okay. Absolutely good. Yeah, that and enough barbecue where I'm not like I don't feel ill.
What's the name of the burger place?
I know you're going to ask me. Town Topic or something like that. That's what it is. Town Topic.
There you go. Thank you to Fred in the back. Thanks, Fred.
That's Joel. He's their media guy. I love it.
Yeah, well,
let him crash the suite.
He's wondering, why are you in here? Hey,
yes, he is.
Hey, Tim Heavily, can I just bring you? Can I get you here in the?
They're trying to do their
here real quick and have a word with you. We like Brad, but Jesus, man, he was in there doing some show with some guy, and we'd like him out. All right. Well, hopefully they get it into. They sound like they will. You're right, because they don't want to go back there on Monday.
No,
they don't want to go back there on Monday.
No, because they're going to need to make it to play it for sure.
All right, Brad Adam, all brought to you by John Howie Steak, voted #1 restaurant in Seattle by readers of Seattle Magazine. You want to entertain your family, clients, birthdays, anniversaries. No better place than the world-renowned John Howie Steak. And before you go over to John Howie Steak, or after, or you can do both, go visit Next Door Whiskey by John Howie. They have featured global selections of rare and well-done whiskeys. They boast hundreds of bottles from around the world. Brad Adam, Root Sports, with us every single Thursday here on the Daily Puck Drop and Puck Sports. Thank you, Brad. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, buddy.
And again, you can find, if you came into it late and missed any of the Brad Adams segment, it'll be podcast up on the Daily Puck Drop, both on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Just search Puck Sports. You can also find everything just up at pucksports.com. When you go to the website, it takes you to YouTube, it takes you to Apple, it takes you to Spotify, which those are the two primary podcast platforms. So just the easiest way if you need to catch up on anything. If you're not following any of those platforms, please follow. It'd be great. On YouTube, hit the like button, follow all of it. Same thing with both podcast platforms of Spotify and Apple. If you're there and you like it, leave a comment. We love to hear from you. Big thanks to Brad. Again, joins us every single week, brought to you by John Howie Steak. All right, get an update right now from what's happening in Kansas City. Looks like they are getting close to playing. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen any official word yet. Still raining. It's coming down, and the tarp and all that. They did, the Mariners, in anticipation for the series against Houston. The probables are out, and there are no surprises. Brian Wu will start the first game against Hunter Brown. Then it's George Kirby against Framber Valdez and Logan Gilbert against Jason Alexander coming up on Sunday. A reminder, that game on Sunday has been picked up there by ESPN. So for the Mariners, a huge series today. Well, huge game today. They got to conclude this thing. They have to get it in, number one. They do not want to go back to Kansas City. No one wants that. Number two, you need to see The Rock have a game. A game in which a lot is on the line for this team. They can ill afford to kick any more games. Yes, they're just a half game out right now, so they can still kind of control things when they play Houston. But it's just, all of it's a must win. Stating the obvious, all of it is right now. So huge start here for Luis Castillo. One of the biggest starts, I think, in his career. And he showed up in big moments. He always has. This season hasn't been the season for Luis Castillo that we normally expect from him, especially on the road. But he has, in the past, generally showed up in big moments. And they're going to need all of it coming up against the Kansas City Royals, which was just a gut punch yesterday, especially with everything, with Houston winning. And then the Tigers losing. They're going down there to Cleveland. Just as a lot was just, you're like, come on, man. Like, it was perfect. It was just a perfect setup for them, especially they could have been within a game. Speaking of the Tigers and Guardians, as they are wrapping up their series right now, the Tigers lead as we sit here and record this. They're leading the Guardians by a score there of 1-0. So M's and Royals coming up later. They'll conclude that series, then on to Houston. We'll talk to Mitch Levy, KJ-Arent coming up here in a bit. And then after that, of course, it's Hey, What the Puck. Hey, What the Puck will talk a lot about what's going on over in Pullman in the Apple Cup. And I'm sure we'll get into some rivalry talk here with Mitch. I am real curious, and we'll dive further into it with Hey, What the Puck. I am confused and intrigued as I have ever been of what the head coach at Washington State, Jimmy Rogers, is doing. If you're not following the story, have not followed it, don't know what's going on. Well, you obviously saw the score against North Texas. They weren't good. I'll save you the suspense. Not good. They were blown out. What came out of that was Jimmy Rogers, and many people had watching that game thought it might be time to make a quarterback change. When they announced Jackson Potter as the starter against Idaho, that caught me and most everyone by surprise, that Potter had beat out Zevi Eckhouse. So then on Monday, Jimmy Rogers holds his press conference and says, all right, we are going to open it up this week. We are going to have a quarterback competition, and the best man this week of practice will win the job, and they'll start on Saturday against Washington. There's 4 quarterbacks, but there's only 3 competing. Potter, Zevi Eckhouse, who was on the team last year, played in the Holiday Bowl, and then Julian Duggar, the transfer from Pitt. And then, all right, well, and Monday, Tuesday goes by. And so yesterday, after practice, Jimmy Rogers announces, we've made our decision on the quarterback already. So after, I assume they practiced Monday, after 2 practices Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they've made the choice. But what is confusing to everyone covering the story from close and from afar is that Jimmy Rogers told the reporters there he made his decision Sunday. Yeah, but on Monday, he sat behind a microphone and said it's an open competition. But he already made his decision on Sunday. Okay, I don't know what he's trying to do. Is he trying to play some type of gamesmanship? Is he trying to confuse Washington and have Washington prepare for 3 different quarterbacks? I would really only prepare for 2. The third one in Duggar can't throw the ball. So I think all you would have to tell your defense is when Duggar comes in, he's going to run. So just be prepared for that. I also think if this is gamesmanship on his part, not sure how this is going to work out, because it really didn't work out in the Idaho game. And we discussed that before the game and after the game, when he did the or next to every single position group. Then he comes out and he was so secretive about who the starter was. Even in the pregame when he met with the play-by-play voice of the Cougars, Chris King, they do a sit-down before every game. It's usually anywhere from an hour and a half before the game. It's a 5-minute interview. And Chris King even asked him, hey, I'm not playing this until 10 minutes before the game. Who's the starter? Actually, I don't know if Chris said that to him, but if he did describe it to him, that's how it goes. Even Jimmy Rogers wouldn't even tell Chris King who the starter is. You got to wait till we kick off. So no one knew who the starter was going to be. Finally, it's announced, and the only way anyone knows is that Potter is warming up with the first team offense and taking reps with the first team center. And then that's how everybody knew he was a starter. He goes out there, he doesn't look good, the offense looks bad. And people are wondering, why did you keep this such a secrecy? We discussed it afterwards, and I thought the go-to guy made some great points. If you believed in him, you named him the starter, why didn't you just put him there? Let the world know this is the guy we've chosen. We're going with him. We think he's the best fit. You have to now defend him and stop him. And I guess I would suggest the same thing this week. I mean, maybe you're making Washington prepare for a bunch of different people, but I'll be honest with you, Zeckhouse and Potter, they're kind of the same, and I really don't know. They have film on Zeckhouse from last year. I have any film on him this year, and for Potter, I don't know. I think if it is gamesmanship, I think he's really, really overthinking this. And then I think on the other part of it is, and we'll get into it with Hey, What the Puck, I think there's some credibility that I would wonder, being a player on that team and specifically a quarterback, how did he articulate the decision to them? Did he tell them Monday, hey, despite what I said in the press conference, you're whoever's the starter? Or did those quarterbacks on Monday think that week was going to be a competition? Because if they did, then it was never a competition if you made your decision there on Sunday. Everything is very odd over there. We'll wait and see what happens, and we'll see who they trot out there on Saturday there for the Apple Cup. All right, coming up is another edition of KJ-Arent with Mitch Levy, host of the world-renowned Mitch Unfiltered podcast. Beacon Hill Daily News called it a top 5 podcast in the state of Washington in 2025. The entire show airs during the live daily puck drop, but once the live show concludes, only one way, there's 2 ways to catch KJ-Arent is to join Puck's Posse at pucksports.com or become a patron at mitchunfiltered.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Mitch Levy, Mitch Unfiltered. Why are you? Oh, so you changed your seat now.
No.
Why? Yeah, you look different. You look like a different setup.
It's not a different setup, but I'm sick.
Oh, you're sick.
Well,
why are you sick?
Great.
You're not really sick. You're sick about what?
Well, I'm kind of sick. I have a great ability to go to the doctor for my annual physical.
Yeah.
be feeling great. He asked me all these questions. How you feeling? How's your exercise? How's your diet? What's going on? And then inevitably I come home and I get sick.
It's all in your head.
Not in my head. It's in my arm. They give you all these vaccines every year. And I swear to you, the vaccines make me sick. I get home. I've been sick for 2 days. I went on Tuesday. I haven't felt good. I didn't get sick the whole year between visits. I'm sick now.
Oh, here we go. Can't wait to look at the fucking comments right now.
No.
Vaccines. This is what RFK's been talking about. Oh, here we go. God, welcome to the Joe Rogan experience with Puck and Mitch.
Have you had the shingles vaccine?
The shingles vaccine. I'm sure, but I probably when I was younger. I don't know. I haven't had it recently.
No. You don't have a You don't have a shingles vaccine when you're younger.
Oh.
You have a shingles vaccine when you're older.
No, then probably not.
You haven't. How old are you?
No. 49.
Oh, 50 is the name. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. 50 is the new 20. People don't know. It's the new 20.
When you go to the doctor, the next time you go to the doctor, you're going to be
shingles.
You're going to get a shingles. Well, if your doctor believes in that, yeah, you're going to. There's 2 of them, 2 shots. Yeah. I've had now both of them, and they make me sick.
Well,
sick.
I mean, maybe that's part of the vaccine. Makes you sick, but it makes you better. At 50, does the doctor shoehorn me for the prostate? Is that what 50 is to?
It depends on your doctor.
Yeah.
It depends on your doctor. A lot of doctors don't do the shoehorn anymore.
Well, I kind of want it, to be honest with you.
Well, I know you kind of want it. That's obvious.
I kind of want it. I mean, think about the physical. We don't even do the hey, take your pants off. We don't even do the turn and cough anymore.
No, not
what happened to that? There must have been a lawsuit.
No.
Some doctor got a little handsy.
It's all statistics. It's all data. How much time are you going to spend on the Washington State quarterback situation?
I just find it's just an odd thing to me. I don't understand it.
Wants to hear this? Do you think really anybody wants to hear this?
More so than you getting shots in your arm and that you don't feel good.
That's true.
God.
That's probably
just find it. I think I'm going to talk about it later. And I was going to ask you about rivalries because obviously a rivalry game coming up. I just think that if you tell, I would like to know for Jimmy Rogers, which by the way, this is a very important game for him. He doesn't even have to win the game, but they've got to show up. I'm going to learn a lot about whether or not he can truly coach and motivate his players. I mean, they can lose the game, but if they don't show up or they fold tent, then that's a real problem. But what game is he playing here? If you tell the media and tell the world on Monday that it's an open quarterback competition, but then yesterday on Wednesday you tell the reporters, no, I made up my mind on Sunday. Don't you lose credibility inside the locker room with your players at all?
I think you lose credibility by talking about a quarterback situation of a team that just lost by 50 to North Texas University.
Oh, okay. There we go. There's a shot from across from the back.
Come on. Yeah. We've got all this good stuff, all this stuff to talk about. You got the Mariners and their
it's the Apple Cup rivalry. Yeah, it's a big game.
Come on, it's the 4th week of the season.
Well, I think that's the problem with college sports now, and I just think in general, just of where we're at with college athletics. I thought about this because I thought about you today.
You did.
I thought about Syracuse.
You did.
Do you like that you're in the ACC? Do you like being in the ACC? Of course you don't. You want the Big East back, right? You want Villanova, and you want Georgetown, and UConn, and Seton Hall, and Providence, right?
I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, because, think about the thing with this whole all these conference reconfiguration. It has worked out for no one, by the way. No one, except for like a couple of schools. Oregon looks like I don't know why balloons are going off in the show, but it looks like Oregon's worked out pretty well. I don't know. I don't know why balloons went. If I do the peace sign, do balloons go off?
Did Oregon send balloons up in the air? What was that?
I don't know how I did that. How do I send up balloons?
Very good. That was good.
Oregon looked good in year 1. Utah made the transition to the Pac-12, and they've made the transition to the Big 12. But shit. Syracuse, you guys haven't done anything in basketball since you joined the conference, except the first year. Haven't done anything in football. Nebraska's been an afterthought, irrelevant in the Big Ten. Missouri's been irrelevant in the SEC. UCLA's irrelevant. USC didn't do anything year one. Washington stumbled in year one of the Big Ten. Not saying they won't get it together here in the. I'm just one for every one of these schools that have changed conferences. Who has it worked out for? Well, I know what it's about, money, but it hasn't worked out for any of them.
It's worked
not on the field, not on the court.
Was it supposed to work out on the field and on the court?
I mean,
they supposed to happen.
Everyone boasts that they're going to have this greater path towards the playoffs, but how are they going to have the greater path? If you're not any good, what does it matter?
Well, are they not any good because they changed conferences, and they may not have been any good if they stayed in their own conference?
Well, I mean, I think that
in Syracuse's case, had they never moved to the ACC, they'd still be the same team that they are now. Terrible.
Oh, but basketball-wise, they were more relevant.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is what's happened to them in basketball is not because they went to the ACC. What's happened to them in basketball would have happened had they remained in the Big East.
No matter what. Well, that's just you being glass half empty.
No, it's not me being glass half empty. It's fact.
Okay. Well,
they don't suck because they're in the ACC. They suck because they made poor decisions. They stayed with the old dinosaur too long.
Yeah.
He lost his touch in recruiting. They replaced him with a lousy head coach. I mean, all the things that have made at least Syracuse, and I'm assuming it's the same for all the other schools or many of the other schools, the things that have made them non-competitive or slip is not the new conference. You don't think the new conference has made USC or UCLA. UCLA was going to be irrelevant no matter where they were, weren't they?
Well, I think a lot of it can be individual. Yes, I mean, I think every case is based on just the individual team. But for schools like USC and Washington, the easiest path would have been in the conference that they were in previously, not joining the Big Ten. It's a harder path for them now. They're virtually impossible for them to ever win the conference.
But do you have to win the conference to get to the playoff? You don't have to. There's going to be 4 or 5 teams now. 4 or 5 teams from the Big Ten are going to get into the 12. No?
My point is, with all of these schools leaving, yes, money being the biggest thing. They all thought they were headed these greener pastures, money would elevate their programs. So my point being, it hasn't worked out for any of them. None of them. And so I was just thinking about today because I am, and we can move on, but I am over college sports right now. I used to love it. It was my favorite thing. I couldn't wait to get up on Saturday mornings to watch College Game Day. Now, College Game Day has been ruined for various reasons, but it's just not the same anymore. It's just the popularity of that sport was regionality of it.
And that's
gone.
And that's not because your favorite team stinks.
What? Well, my favorite team has always not been good at football.
Well,
so they've had a period of success,
but they've always been interesting.
Yeah, they're coming off a terrible game. I don't think that game is reflective of how good they are or how bad they are. I just think they had an awful game. Awful game.
Didn't they just barely scrape by Idaho?
Barely scraped by Idaho, but then they came back the next week and dismantled San Diego State. I don't know how good San Diego State is, but who knows? But we'll see with this weekend. We'll see what it's all about. I just think that
hang in there, Bucko.
I think there's a lot of people this week who are, and I agree, it's not the same because of the time of year that it's at, that it normally was in November. But there's, you just hear a lot of this, well, the game should go away. I don't want the game to go away. I think when you play something for 116 years, it should continue, and I hope it does. I hope it never goes away. Well,
then it shouldn't go away. I just think that in like the 4th week of the season, playing it early, I think the whole game has just been for people like me who have kind of peripheral view of the game, not really involved in the game. My son went to Washington. I really don't care about the game. For people like me, the game is like a nothing.
Always was the case, or just this week?
No, this week. I could find a lot of interest in a game because there was always something there was always something that could be ruined by one of the teams.
Well, yeah, that's because of the time of year. That's why not being in the same conference anymore, you got to each week watch the other team win or lose, and then just it builds up to this crescendo at the end of the year in November. But now you're playing it in September. It's like, well, okay.
So I think what happens in September is you lose the guys like me.
Yeah.
The real interest of a college football fan who's got no rooting interest between Washington and Washington State. Any interest that I had in the game at the end of the year has gone away now because there's really nothing. There is something on the line, but there was always like a bowl game on the line or something was going on. There was always something going on.
Yeah, championship or one team, usually the case of Washington State. You're trying to ruin Washington's season.
Correct.
Right? You're trying to knock them off.
Right.
I got to ask you a question. I know you got like a laundry list of things you're going to ask me. I can't wait.
I don't have anything to ask you. I'm sick.
I need some Twitter. I need Twitter interpretation from you.
Twitter interpretation.
You sent out something, a cryptic message the other day on Twitter. X.
Matt.
I just call it Twitter. I just call it Twitter. Yes. Matt. Period. Brash. Period.
Yes.
So that leads me to believe.
Yes.
You are not a fan of Matt Brash.
This is a very complicated topic. Now, I don't know that you and your listeners could handle this.
Are you calling? Listen.
No.
He's just called our audience dumb.
No, I didn't. I did not. I just got psychologically analyzed by Danny O'Neill right before I came on with you about my Matt Brash hang-up. I have a Matt Brash hang-up.
So he observed the same thing that I did based on your cryptic tweets.
Yes. And Danny O'Neill has determined that the reason Mitch Levy is uncomfortable with Matt Brash, that it goes all the way back to Mitch Levy being a control freak in every aspect of his life.
Well, does Danny have a degree or psychological degree? Because I think he nailed it.
I said to him what I'll say to you, that Matt Brash and I'll never be a Matt Brash fan.
Why? Okay, now this is interesting because you know who I don't like. You know who I don't like on the Mariners, right?
Dom Canzone.
Yeah, don't like him.
You don't like Dom Canzone?
No.
Oh my God.
See? Now, see, this is so funny. You don't understand that. You're like, how can you not like him?
Oh.
And then I would be like, how can you not like Matt Brash?
Matt Brash and I just we're going to try to coexist in the world for the next 17 years, but I don't know that it's going to happen. What I told Danny is that it's conceivable that Matt Brash, if you said, okay, every team's got a Matt Brash, every team's got a guy that comes in the eighth in a one-run game or a tie game, everybody's got one guy, that would make there's 30 Matt Brashes, right? If what I just said is true.
Sure.
Okay. It's conceivable that Matt Brash is the number one Matt Brash of the 30 teams. Did I make sense right there? It's
sure. I got you. Yeah, I'm following.
And yet, he and I never. We'll never be simpatico.
Was there an incident, a moment? Did you see him at an Ivers and he spit out the red clam chowder? What was it?
It's the fact that Matt Brash, I just went through this whole thing with Danny. Matt Brash has absolutely no idea where the ball is going. He is a wiffle ball pitcher who is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what I said to Danny, I will say to you and your listeners. I will say this, that if Matt Brash went out and in 20 consecutive outings did not allow, forget a run, a base runner. Let's say he went 20 straight outings without allowing one base runner, and the world was talking about him. I would have zero confidence in outing number 21 because I am convinced he's got no idea. His pitches move so much. They have no idea. And I brought up the comparison with Danny that I'll bring up to you. Okay. The polar opposite of Matt Brash in terms of pitchers, in terms of pinpoint accuracy. So I believe that Matt Brash is over here. He throws pitches that move 5 feet, and he's got literally no idea where they're going. Nobody's got any idea where they're going. The guy on the polar opposite to that was a guy that I grew up watching named Greg Maddux. Now, Greg Maddux didn't just not walk guys. Like George Kirby doesn't walk guys. But there's a distinction between George Kirby and Greg Maddux. The reason that Greg Maddux was great, well, two reasons. He had a circle change that nobody could figure out. But where the catcher put the mitt, okay, nobody hit the mitt like Greg Maddux. I swear to you. If you did one of your metrics on this, which is what pitcher makes the catcher's mitt move the least during a game, Greg Maddux would have won that every year, every single year. Pinpoint accuracy, okay? The notion that Matt Brash is throwing to a place where Cal Raleigh or Mitch Garver puts the mitt, like a corner or something, he has never in his life not made that mitt go do this, okay? So in a one-run game, last night, they get the lead. J.P. Crawford hits the home run. They're up 1 going to the bottom of the 8th. Of course Matt Brash is coming into the game. Of course he is. Because he's the best. We just said it. He's the best Matt Brash of the 30 Matt Brashes in Major League Baseball, Puck. He's the best. Of course he's coming in. But the guy of all those 30 that's most likely to walk the leadoff batter, most likely, and that's it, right after you get the one-run lead. The Matt Brash of the 30 Matt Brashes in Major League Baseball that's most likely to come right out, not know where the pitches are going, and walk the tying run right away with nobody out is our Matt Brash. Okay? So that's my answer.
You got PTSD. It's like the previous 6 games, he hadn't walked anybody.
I don't give a shit. Okay? I don't care if he doesn't walk a guy for the next 4 years.
I'm glad there's just glad there's someone else out there that doesn't like somebody that universally is well liked by everyone.
Okay, hold on.
And now you've got to wear that you don't like Matt Brash and I don't like Dom Canzone.
No. Hold on.
My reason for Canzone is stupid. Yours is dumb.
No. But I want to clear up something.
Yeah.
I think that Mitch Levy doesn't like Matt Brash. I don't think that that's an accurate statement.
Okay.
If you said to me, "Do you want Matt Brash on the team?" Of course I do. I like Matt. I do. I don't know that I like him as much as everybody else. He makes me completely 100%. A mess when he comes in the game.
Don't like him coming into the games. Is that fair to say?
No, I do like him coming into the games. I'm just telling you, I don't think anybody, including Matt Brash, has any idea where any pitch that he throws is going. Got no idea. The catcher has no idea. The pitcher has no idea. The hitter, and that's probably what makes Matt Brash great because he's got I would say wiffle ball movement on his, but nobody's pitches move. So from that standpoint, but he makes me a mess. I'm a mess when he comes in because it's just a matter of snapping the fingers. He's going to walk 2 or 3 guys and get himself in trouble.
Well, you're right. There are moments where he looks, and I can't remember which I was going to pull up his game log, what outing it was. What game did I go to that he came in? It was probably the St. Louis. Yeah, it was the St. Louis game. It was the final game, I believe, against St. Louis. He came in, it was an inning, gave up a hit, but he struck out 3. And we were sitting pretty down by first base, and he was just disgusting. It was disgusting how good he was.
See, I think the other thing that I would say, and we probably exhausted this topic, and I don't want people to think that Mitch Levy doesn't like I like Matt Brash.
Well, the title of the show is going to be Mitch Levy hates Matt Brash. So
you make the title with the show, whatever you want to make the title of the show. I think what I would say to you is, all right, let me put it this way. Let's talk about 2 different scenarios. Let's talk about the scenario last night where he comes in, nobody on, he starts an inning, and they've got a 1-run lead. Okay? Scenario B, let's say bases loaded, nobody out, and you got a 1-run lead, and you need somebody to come out that's going to strike out, not just one guy, but 2 guys. You need swing and miss. If the bases are loaded and there's nobody out, you need a pitcher who you got a good chance they're not even going to be able to make contact and put the ball in play. I love him there. Even though he might walk in the go-ahead run, he gives you the best chance of coming out with the bases because the movement of his pitches gives you the best shot of getting a strikeout of not only anybody on the team, but maybe anybody else in the league. But I swear to you, I feel last night was the perfect example. God, he walked the first guy, and I said to myself, that guy's going to, and forget that guy. I think everybody in the world scored.
Yeah.
In last night's game.
But look at the pitch. He made a great pitch to Frazier. There's just no way Frazier should hit that. There's zero. He'll never hit that in another 100 pitches at that spot. Right. He never hit it again.
You know what? You're right. And you didn't hear me one time complain about the home run that he gave up to Frazier.
Just the walk to Perez.
The walk to the first guy of the inning when you've got a 1-run lead.
Can you do me a favor when they get into the playoffs? It's a game 5 clincher or game 3, whatever it is, or game 7. And he comes into the game with the scenario like last night, protecting a 1-run lead. I just want you to videotape yourself. I just want to see it. I want to see what you're like and how you're going through it.
I would not be opposed to using Spire in the 8th more.
Well, but I heard that last night, but they just told you how they value Spire more, well, how they used them last night.
Well, no.
They used them against the top guys in their lineup because I heard this. Why did they use Spire? Well, they just they used them against their top guys.
I'm not talking about last night. I'm just talking about as a general rule, I would not be opposed, depending upon lefty versus lefty, lefty versus righty. I would not be opposed in big moments down the stretch to see Brash in the 7th and Spire in the 8th. I'm just bringing that up. I just can't stand the walk to the leadoff hitter after you finally get the lead. You put the leadoff runner on. I'm going to throw myself out a window. The one thing you can't do is walk the leadoff hitter. And I'm going to give you another thing from last night's game.
Okay.
You probably saw this on Twitter too. I'm old school. You're going to, most people, Danny just disagreed. You'll disagree too. Okay. Then you go to the freaking bottom of the top of the 9th.
Yeah.
You're now down 3 runs.
Okay.
Okay. And I just said to you, your favorite guy, Dom Canzone, if he's not my favorite Mariner, he's pretty damn cool. I love everything about Dominic Jean Canzone. Every time you can go back, every time he does something good, I tweet out Dominic Jean.
You love him.
I love Dominic Jean.
Yeah.
Okay. First, you're up against their closer. You're down 3 runs, Puck. The closer comes out and immediately gives up 2 hits. You've got 1st and 3rd with nobody out. And you're down 3 runs, okay? Dom Canzone now pinch hits. He comes cold off the bench. He hasn't. First of all, why is Dom Canzone? I don't care lefty versus lefty, righty versus righty. Why is Dom Canzone, after he goes 5 for 5 with 3 home runs, why is he not in the net? Doesn't that reward? Don't you earn the right to be in the next day's lineup if you go 5 for 5 with 3 home runs?
Yeah, but it's not like the guy that's playing out there that hits righty, but probably would hit better against lefties than some chopped liver.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine. I think an argument could be made that Dom Canzone should have been in the starting lineup.
I don't hate. I'm not gonna die on the hill arguing against.
But here's what I'm gonna die on the hill on, and you're gonna laugh and say, "What are you talking about?" Here's where I'll die on the hill. Dom Canzone comes in cold off the bench to pinch hit with 1st and 3rd, nobody out, but you're 3 runs down. Now I know what everybody's thinking. He's hit 3 home runs. Let him hit another one here and tie the game, right? The pitcher, they show a close-up. Go back to Root Sports' broadcast. After the 2 hits, before the first pitch, Canzone, they show a close-up of the pitcher of the Royals, and he's sweating bullets. He looks like he's unraveling right there on the mound right in front of us. And I'm thinking, holy shit, maybe they got a shot to score 3 or they got 1st and 3rd, nobody out. So Canzone steps in there, and he takes 2 balls out of the strike zone. Now it's 2-0. So now we've got the pitcher who's given up 2 hits. He's sweating bullets. He's thrown 2 balls out of the strike zone to Canzone, who's fresh off the bench, ice cold off the bench. There is no way in hell I'm allowing him, Ken Griffey Jr., or anybody else down 3 runs to swing at the next pitch. You must take the next pitch. Make the guy throw a strike. Do you know how Randy Arozarena sometimes has decided before the pitch he's taken the pitch and he walks out of the batter's box halfway with the pitch halfway there?
My favorite moment.
Okay. Canzone, for as much as I love him, should have done that with the 2-0 pitch. He's not swinging at the 2-0 pitch. I don't give a shit if it's 94 right down the middle. I am not making an out. I am not putting it in play. I'm watching. And you know what the guy does? He throws a slider low outside the strike zone, and Canzone swings and misses, and now it's 2-1. It should have been 3-0, first and third, nobody out, and now who knows? All hell breaks loose.
Sure.
And what does he do on the 2-1 pitch or the 2-2 pitch? Bounces into a double play, and the game essentially is over.
Yeah, no, and then the next pitch after it was kind of a borderline strike, anyways.
No way am I bailing out the pitcher at 2-0 with first and third and nobody out.
Now you know why I don't like him.
So this is as much a Dan Wilson thing as
it's not. No. It is not a Dan Wilson fault. No way.
Hold on.
No way.
You can't.
No way. That Dom Canzone is a professional fucking baseball player. If he isn't fucking smart enough to know at 2-0 with a guy that's walking everybody to not swing at that, then Dom Canzone shouldn't be playing. This isn't Little League where he needs to hold his hand to tell him, hey, Dom, don't swing at the next pitch. He's smart enough to know not to swing at the next pitch. But if he's not, then he's not smart enough to play.
Okay, but he could give him a red light. He could give him a red light.
Come on.
Give him a red light.
Come on. I mean, my God.
True.
Can we not hold his hand?
Okay,
he's a professional baseball player.
I am not defending Dom Canzone. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying this. Let's leave it at this. Call it old school. Call it sabermetrics anti. Call it old man, get off my lawn. You can call me whatever you want. All right?
I'm with you. I understand.
I don't care. You are not swinging at a 2-0 pitch with guys on first and third where the pitcher is on the ropes. You've got him on the freaking ropes. He's got to. Randy Arozarena wouldn't even gotten in the batter's box. Okay.
He would have been in the dugout.
He would have walked in the dugout on that 2-0 pitch. You cannot swing at that 2-0 pitch. You cannot. I don't care where it is. All right? That's what I have to say.
When he grounded the double play, did he do the chef's kiss to anyone as he did that, or did he?
You're not going to rope me into making fun. The guy's hitting 309.
I know.
What's wrong with you? He's unbelievable. And he's hitting against left-handers, right-handers, everything, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
He's been fantastic. He's been what's your irrational? What you decided that you didn't like him a long time ago and now you can't get off the hill?
Just don't like the the player, how he hits, all of it. I like that. I don't like how I don't like all that other extra stuff. He hasn't earned to act like that after he gets hits.
Let me ask you this. What does this mean, Cal Raleigh at second, when he's rounding second every time he hits a home run?
I don't know.
This thing up to the bullpen. What does that mean?
I don't know, but I miss the days when
they used to do a sexual gesture.
Well, yeah, they used to do the double. Yeah. Or the pepper grinder. The pepper grinder was another good one.
The pepper grinder.
Mitchie, I love it. A reminder for people. Once the live show is over, this goes away. It's only for patrons for Mitch Unfiltered.
Hey, you were 3-0.
I know. I was going to get to beat the boys. And then also Puck's Posse, sign up at pucksports.com. Who is Slick and I were undefeated 3-0, beat the boys?
3-0. 3-0. I lost you. I don't hear you.
No, I'm here.
Are you there?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm there. I'm good. I'm never 3-0 at anything.
By the way, if you don't think that I'm happy about that, you got another thing coming because
I know you are.
Because I don't really want to give away a lot of prizes. I need a couple of years ago, you know what happened? I can't remember who it was. It'd be a funnier story if I remembered who it was, but like somebody like you was helping me out. I was doing poorly, and they were like second, third the whole year. And there's like, I don't know, 1,000 people in this thing. I don't know. And whoever it was that was on our team was like second or third. It looked like I was going to only have to give away like one prize in the entire last year. By the way, I finished like third. I only had to give away 2 prizes in the whole thing. But whoever it was didn't make picks the last 2 or 3 weeks. Cost me a fortune.
When does the password come out? Is it out?
The password is always announced on the Monday previous show, but you don't listen to the Monday previous show. So would you like me to give you the password to you guys? To you right now?
Sure.
Cal, all lowercase, C-A-L. Write it down. I shouldn't do this, but I'm doing it because I love the Limback Lumber Studios.
Oh, it's great. We had the Limback Lumber guys over last night watching the game. God, they were great.
By the way, I got a call from my wife 2 nights ago when I was not feeling so good after the vaccines. She said, I'm in Kirkland. I'm going by Ivers. Do you want some red clam chowder? No. And I said, yes, get me a medium size with a lot of crackers. She didn't bring me back the shrimp to put in, but it was delicious, and I did nothing but think of you. So there you go.
Farewell. We'll see you next Thursday. Mitch Levy. Again, another edition of KJ-Arent with Mitch Levy, host of the Mitch Unfiltered podcast. Our weekly show airs in its entirety during the live daily puck drop. But again, once the live show is over, you must sign up to become a Pucks Posse member to listen to the full show at pucksports.com, or sign up to become a patron at mitchunfiltered.com. All right, we wrap up the show with Hey, What the Puck, always brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle, your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call on those damages that affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. All right, back to Jimmy Rogers in the Wazzu situation. I'm sure Jimmy Rogers has an idea what he's doing. At least I hope he knows what he's doing. We talked about this before. He said on Monday he's having an open quarterback competition. He meets with reporters after a practice on Wednesday, and he said he made his mind up, but he made his mind up on Sunday. So my question for Jimmy Rogers would be, did the quarterbacks know on Monday who already was going to start the Apple Cup on Sunday? Or did they go into the week thinking this is going to be an open quarterback competition? I think if they went into the week thinking, after hearing him talk on Monday, that it's an open week of competition, I think you have a chance of losing some credibility with your players and your locker room, and specifically the quarterback. Because if you told them one thing, but then said, no, I just made up my mind, what was the point of having a perceived competition? I think we're going to learn a lot about Jimmy Rogers as a football coach this weekend and how he can motivate a team that just got annihilated the week before, who was walking into a hornet's nest of an opponent in a rivalry game. No one is expecting them to win. Most, if not everyone, expects them to probably get blown out in the game. And how do he, his coaches, and his players respond? You know, last week it was evident, and he acknowledged it, and it was eye-opening how many players in the second half just folded up shop and went home. Will they do the same when adversity hits them on Saturday at some point in the game? Because it will hit them at some point in the game. They don't have to win the game on Saturday for me to learn a lot about him as a coach and his prowess, but they better show up. They better deliver. And he better have an idea what he's doing with this quarterback situation. Because so far, it has seemed confusing, messy, and honestly, at times irrational. That's Hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle, your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when these damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Thank you for everyone watching and listening to today's show. Thank you to all our sponsors, Limback Lumber, John Howie Steak, Zogs on Fox Island, Hartley and Hartley Insurance, Georgetown Brewery, and Restoration One. Today's Daily Puck Drop up on YouTube. YouTube. When you're there, please like the channel, subscribe to the channel as well. Also find the Daily Punch Up on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever. Also find everything up at pucksports.com. Everything is there for you to click on once you hit the website. Also, there is a link to sign up to become a Pucks Posse member for as little as $5 a month. You support all the free content we do here at Puck Sports. In addition to that, you get bonus shows every single week. Check it out at pucksports.com. Thursday's show is in the books. Coming up tomorrow, it is a Football Friday tailgate show. We got everything from Chris Egan. We've got our handicapper joining us. We got Todd Millis from Varsity Law News to get you covered on high school sports. Bob Condotta of the Seattle Times, jam-packed as always on a Friday. We will talk to you tomorrow. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!